Hey everyone, how you doing today? It's me, Spyce, love empowerment coach for strong, successful women, and I'm coming to you today a couple days after Christmas, but we are still right in the swing of the holiday thing where nobody can get anything done except for go to parties, which, as somebody who used to really love going to parties, can be fun, but as somebody who doesn't love going to parties as much as I used to, it can be a little bit much, and that's why I always say January is my favorite month because it's time we can get back into things. So next week we will be back into things, but for right now, we're still in the holiday swing. So that's why I wanted to come to you today and talk about my 5 non-woo-woo ways to feel grateful for your everyday life during this holiday season. Because here's the thing. During the holidays, everybody is telling you all the time, be grateful for what you have, or else somehow you're going to lose it. There's this idea that if we're not grateful, then somehow we're going to lose everything good that we have. So we have to be grateful, and be grateful for all the people in your life, and be grateful for all the things that you have. And that's all well and good, and I do believe in that. However, what if you just don't feel grateful? Or what if you feel some other emotion? What if you're upset with the things that you don't have? What if you're having a hard time with all this happy gratitude? Well, if that's the case, I understand you. So before we start, I just want to say hello to everybody who's watching, and I would love for you to say hello back to me. So if you're watching, and even if you just want to, you don't have to say anything. I know typing can be really hard, but if you just want to tap the little button that says like or love, even sad face, because you're not with me on Christmas, or the wow, like, oh my gosh, or the angry, like, I'm so mad right now that Spyce is wearing that naughty hat. So whatever it is, just saying something is always nice, or just clicking the little thing is always nice. So yes, and also just stick around to the end of the video. I have a special holiday gift that I want to give to all of you strong, successful ladies out there, and guys who are watching. If you know strong, successful ladies that would appreciate a gift from me, you can send them my way. So before we go into that, I'm going to talk to you about the 5 non-woo-woo ways to be grateful for your everyday life during this amazing holiday season. So number one is a little bit woo-woo, I will say. But it's the one that I think really does work the best in a lot of ways. So I just wanted to bring it out there before I go into some of my non-woo-woo ways. And that is to just take inventory of the things in your life that you really do love and that really are actually going well for you. So, think about the things that you love, like, me and all of my videos and my cute outfits and my awesome relationship with my husband that you see on Facebook, all of my amazing posts, all of that kind of stuff. And, think about the things in your life that are really bringing you joy, because there must be some of them. And take stock of where you've been and where you are now. It's always a good time around the holidays and around the New Year's. We're going from the old into the new, to just think about the things that you've done and that have actually been successful. Sometimes when we're not in a great place, it can be easy to just focus on all of the bad stuff. And I recently went to a workshop, and I've been having some sads. And so, they were like, think about all of your accomplishments. And they said something like, write down 20 accomplishments. And I was like, 20 accomplishments? I can't think of 20 things that I did well this year that went well for me. But I started writing, and before I knew it, I was like, there might actually be more than I thought. So by taking inventory of the things that you love, it can remind you that there is actually still good in the world, and it can help you to feel just a little bit happier and maybe more grateful for those things that you do have, because you take inventory of them and you realize that, you know what, maybe I do have a couple of things that are pretty great. So number 2 of the 5 non-woo-woo ways to be grateful for your everyday life during the holidays is kind of to just say, F it all. All right, this is a little bit different than the first one. Be willing to let it all go. Be willing to just, you know what? All those people who are annoying you, those people that you really don't like, be willing to just say to them, I don't like you, and I'm not going to engage with you. Now, you don't necessarily have to say that, but set some boundaries in your life about the things that you really, really want to have in your life. Because if you have things in your life that you're really happy about, you are going to be grateful. But if you keep messing around with all of these people and things that you really don't want to do, how can you be grateful for that? How can you be grateful for having all the things that you don't want? Right? There's enough things that are going to happen to you in life that you don't want to have happen. And those are the things that you have to deal with, that you have no choice but to deal with. So for things that you do have choice to deal with, why not just make the decision and make the choice and let those things go? Get those things out of your life. Be willing to set boundaries with people and be willing to say no. You know, sometimes we're so like, we just want to be nice to everybody. We just want to be accommodating. And sometimes, you know, that's not really what needs to happen. Sometimes what we really need to do is say, you know what? This is the way that I feel. And granted, I will always preach to look at the reasons why you feel something. You know, like I'm not a big fan of just arbitrary no's. I understand that a lot of people want to just have the power to say their no, and I totally respect that. But I also feel like arbitrary no's are just, you know, I think it's really great to know where your no is coming from and to just make sure that you're very clear about your no and that you're doing it in a way that, well, just that you're doing it in a way that's going to be best for you. So as much as I'm saying that, I'm also saying that you can use your no's and have the things that you want so that that way you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm just surrounded by people and people that I don't want to see or hang out with or have relationships with and things that I don't want to do. You know, the holidays are filled with a lot of things that we don't want to do, but we do them anyway out of a sense of obligation. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who said that they had this really strong sense of obligation that they had to do these things around the holidays. I said, well, who told you that? Who's telling you that? And they actually couldn't come up with anybody that was actually telling them that they need to give them gifts. It was just the thought that they were having based on our culture around the holidays. So, you know, it's okay to say no and set your boundaries around the holidays. Okay, so number 3. This one that will help you to feel more grateful about your everyday life is to hang out with people that suck. Well, kind of kidding, but hang out with people that are in a less fortunate place than you. Those people don't necessarily suck. They just have things going on that are worse than you. You know, so, you know, you might be able to find those places, those people in places like if you go volunteer somewhere, you know, that's a great time to go out and help people who are less fortunate and you know, help people who there are a lot of people who during the holidays don't have anybody. They don't have somebody who is like giving them a sense of obligation. They have nobody. There's a lot of people, you know, laying under bridges and just being really depressed and alone on the holidays who really, really, really have no one. And, you know, being able to maybe give a helping hand to a stranger who really has no one is really helpful. Another thing you can do is just go hang out in bars, right? Go hang out in bars with people who are just getting drunk on the holidays. That's not something that I think necessarily everybody should do. But I'm just saying, you know, maybe like give a little bit to somebody who's in a less fortunate place than you. Maybe you have a relative or somebody in your family who is in a really hard place, who just has a lot of unhappiness in their life, and maybe they're always mean to you. A lot of times when people are mean to you, it's because of their own personal pain and, you know, some way that they're hurt. So maybe just go be the bigger person and just go reach out to somebody who's usually mean to you and we'll sit and listen to them for just a couple of minutes. And I think that by doing that and by hearing other people's pain, it can actually allow you to feel that much more grateful for the place where you are in life. And hey, if you want to go to the bar first and have a couple drinks before doing that, I'm not going to tell you now. All right, so number 4 of the 5 non-woo-woo ways to feel better about your daily life and feel grateful in this holiday season. So number 4 is about remembering the bad. So, just like how I said before, like take an inventory of all of the good things that are happening in your life. Take an inventory of all of the bad things that have happened in your life as well. Okay, now hear me out on this one. You may be thinking like, okay, how does that like make any sense? Because, usually we're thinking that we want to forget all of the bad that's happened to us. And while we certainly don't want to rehash and blame ourselves for the things that didn't go well in the past that we can't change, sometimes in order for us to recognize how good things really are, we have to look back and really remember how bad it was to realize how good it is right now. And when we realize how far we've come and we see ourselves in this better place, it serves to remind us that there is a lot of good in life and that things can change. And while bad things do happen, the good times always return as well. And so, a couple of ways to do this is maybe just go and stalk your ex on Facebook, or better yet, have an opportunity to hang out with your ex and be like, oh my God, like I was so dumb. And look at me now. I'm like so not with this guy. And now I'm like doing so much better. So just like thinking back onto some of these things and allowing yourself to, without blame, just say, wow, I did that. And you know what? Now I'm not doing that. And maybe I'll do that again someday, but that's not even something that has to come into the conversation. This is just more about realizing where you are by looking at where you've been, and realizing how good things are by looking at how bad things were, and allowing yourself to just really feel how bad things were, and to recognize and notice that they were shitty and that's okay, and look at how far you've come. Be proud of that, because you've come a long way, baby. All right, so one more. Now this one, I have to admit, it's woo-woo. So yeah, so I lied, but it's not totally woo-woo, and I mean, I guess it's pretty woo-woo, but I haven't done it yet. So like I'm putting it out there because I'm telling you guys, so that way I'm going to do it now too. So number 5 is about starting a gratitude jar. Like I've always thought that's the coolest thing, right? Like you get a big jar and then you keep it by your bed or somewhere, and then every day you write down one thing that you're grateful for. And even it could be like this bad stuff. Like today I hung out with my aunt Betty, who's a racist cunt, and she like, and we had this conversation where she just told me about all the things of why she was so angry in her 20s. And then you're like, wow, now I have a much better understanding of why Aunt Betty is such a cunt now. See? So, you write down all those things like that and you put them in your gratitude jar. And then on New Year's Eve of next year, you can sit down and you can like look through all of them and be like, oh my gosh, this was so amazing. Oh, I was so happy that day, and yada, yada. I mean, I think these are great. And I think getting into daily practices with lots of things is always a great way to really harness your life and make it a better experience. So I would like to invite you and encourage you to start this gratitude jar. And if you do, I want to know about it, because it's going to help me to do my gratitude jar too. Because like I said, I've always wanted to do this and haven't done it yet. And it's not like I'm like 20 years old and I still haven't done it. So it's like something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I still haven't done it. So I would like to see all of us doing this gratitude jar. Yay! So what do people think about all of that? Does all of that sound exciting to you? Does that sound interesting to you? Usually I don't really check the comments, but I will check some of them today. Cherry said, I've always thought it was a good idea and I've never done it either yet. I'm thinking she's talking about the gratitude jar. She might be talking about telling people to F off. She might be talking about sitting down with one of her stanky ass relatives and listening to them bitch for a while. She might be talking about going and sitting in a bar with a bunch of people who are in a shitty place in their life. So I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping that you're talking about the gratitude jar because that is my favorite idea as well. So before we go, I just want to say once again, happy holidays, everybody. And I have a special holiday gift. So if you are a strong woman who really wants to change your life in 2019 and change the way that you view love and the patterns that you may have developed around love that could actually be sabotaging you from having the love that you want in your life, then I want to talk to you. So, you know, sometimes it could be that you could be in a relationship and you could still be having these feelings come up, feelings of self-worth, of doubt, of unhappiness, of jealousy, of all these things that can come up when you're in a relationship that sometimes don't even come up outside of a relationship. And these are patterns and ways of being that we've developed over the years from pains and hurts. And these are the things that I want to talk with you about. Or maybe you're not in a relationship, and maybe every time you try to meet somebody, you're either picking the wrong guys, or you're attracted to people that are unhealthy for you, or you do meet somebody great, but then you push them away because of these same patterns that we've talked about. So these are all ways that as strong women, we don't have the love that we want. Whether we have a partner, we don't have a partner, we still may not have the love that we want. And I really feel strongly that I want women to have the love that they want, because I've seen how with love and support and clarity, we can go so far. And as strong, powerful women, we can just break through everything when we have the love and support we want. So my free holiday gift to you is that I want to give you a love cleansing assessment clarity call. And so on this clarity call, we will talk about your life, your healing, and all of the things that you're dealing with, and see what we can come up with. I'd like to come up with some kind of roadmap that gives you an idea of how you can move forward in 2019 to have the love that you want, to change these patterns, and to really finally be able to have that dream partner. That dream partner that I have to say, I've found that dream partner, and it wasn't easy, and it took a long time, and it took work to get to that place, but I have that, and I want that for all of you. So I would like to offer you the love cleansing clarity call, and just get in touch with me, drop me a line, and we can do that anytime, pretty much anytime in the month of January. It's up until the 28th I'm offering this call. So I look forward to hearing from all of you. Check out lovecleansing.com, check out the Facebook group, contact me, say hi. I'd love to hear from all of you and hear about what you're doing to feel grateful for the holidays or in the holidays. And yeah, I hope my non-woo-woo ways have helped you to feel better. So have a great day, and I look forward to talking with all of you again very soon.